And since we have learned about the export and manufacturing part, I think we have two experts who can give a little insight about how the manufacturing ke baad, the design part is covered, especially for the men's wear and for the women's wear section. And here Iram has one more segment which is very, very trending these days, is how social media presence is important for a design person. So I really want Iram to address that. Ankur sir, can we just have her first because she has to leave? So it's her request. Please, ma'am. Ma'am, you can keep it short if you want, but
So good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I would like to tell you all that yes, digital media is really a first thing that comes to your mind when now you plan on launching your own brand. So, firstly, I would like to ask everyone to look around and just observe what the other person is wearing near to you. Okay, just observe. Do not talk to them, do not ask them why you're wearing what you're wearing, okay, and just observe. And then the first thing you notice is you'll have an assumption about them, right? So that's what fashion does to you. So when you look around, you see that okay, this person is wearing this outfit, she's wearing this footwear, she's wearing this she's dressed up like this, her hair is up, maybe she's wearing an ethnic wear, maybe she's wearing jhumkis and stuff. You'll instantly feel that okay, she might be headed to a wedding. Or if she's wearing something professional, you'll feel she's heading to a professional event, anything like that. Okay, maybe like everyone around is wearing blazers right now, so you'll know that yes, this is a student, right? So this is what fashion does to you. When you walk in a room, you don't even talk, you only have to portray yourself as you are. So this is the first thing that fashion does to you. Now, I would like to ask you all that when you think of starting your own brand, what exactly do you have imagined in your mind? Like, the first thing we think about is what the brand should be about. What should we be creating, right? But that's not what you all should be thinking. You should be thinking the why. Why do I want to start this brand? How do I want it to look? What exactly is in my imagination? What exactly do I have in my mind, right? That's how you come up with a good idea. So this is how you should start. When you begin with a why. Why am I creating this? So maybe like you're creating a brand that goes around plus size. Like I do have a brand of my own. One of my recent brands, I have 3 brands of my own, one of which is a plus size brand. So this is how you think, and you start with one of your visions, like what exactly do you want to solve? Why is it when you start in this business, you might feel that yeah, well, fashion is something that can start in a room these days, right? You don't really need a store to start a brand. Tell me, if you think about it, tell me, when was the last time you might have seen a brand last night, right? Scrolling through Instagram. They're like going viral everywhere. So you might one day think, oh, I follow them. This is so cute. Now let's order this. So this is how brands are coming up these days, right? Being the Gen Zs, I'm sure you all know that this is your first step now, right? So when I began, I've been in this industry for like 10 years now. So I began with working under a celebrity designer, if you all know Vikram Fadnis. So that was where I started, right? And like the merchandiser part of the industry. So yes, it was a havoc. We had a bad time. So it was crazy, and we were always running around, like even while we were sleeping in our dreams, we could definitely see that we are still working. So that's the reality of fashion. Fashion is not a piece of cake. It's not looking pretty. It's not models, it's not runway, it's not all of that. So yes, even when we are starting a brand in this age right now digitally, we still have to go through so much. So when you start, you'll be stuck thinking about what all should I be doing today? Okay, so I'll tell you how to picture your days when you start a fashion brand, and also I'll be discussing later about if you're working under somebody. There's a very big difference there. There is a lot to think about, and you guys are so fresh right now. Do not directly dive into starting your brand at this stage. So yeah, like I was saying, that once I started working under this designer, I saw the reality of fashion. Before that, yes, I did have a background. I did actually honestly started a store while I was also a student in my college, right? Like I was in my last year and I started a brand of my own. That was one major mistake I did. And here I would like to let you all know that that is a mistake if you are fasting forward your process, right? So even then I wasn't somebody who was creating or manufacturing, because that seemed like a very difficult step for me. I was just procuring stuff, buying, as ma'am was suggesting, like buying everything. I was going to stores, I was seeing manufacturer units, and then I was just buying all of it, right? And then I was just reselling them here. But I had a twist to it. Yeah. So I used to check everything according to the fashion, and that's how it went well. For a start, it went well, but to continue in that field made me feel a little bit, less creative, because you weren't really creating, and you're a designer. You don't want to do that part much. So it depends on your creativity. It depends on how you are. It depends on what your mindset is. Mine did not match to that. So then I started working under this celebrity designer. I came across even the worst of celebrities, the worst of tantrums. It all really was difficult to manage at that time, but everything was a lesson to me. Yeah. So I learned how to manage your timelines. I learned how to manage your inventory when it came to your raw materials, like your threads, your fabrics, your linings, anything, zippers, your even if it was as small as your elastications, how will you do the finishings, what is required for what kind of look. So that's what we learned when we worked under him. Yeah. So the first step for you all should be working under somebody. It could be a famous designer if you get a chance. If not, even if you work under anybody in your own city, you can learn a lot through that. And once you think that, yeah, now working under somebody makes you feel a lot of things, makes you relate to what you would want to do in the future. And once you think that, yes, now this is where I want to go, you dive into a business or you continue as a professional, a working professional under any design house. Yeah. So once you start working for yourself, once you start building a brand of yourself, we'll come to this part now. And that is where you need to know that you will be everything. Like ma'am was saying that there will be a team, that comes on a very later part. So you need to start being your own buyer. You'll have to be your own merchandiser. You'll have to be your own karigar at some point of time. You'll have to be somebody who's managing the logistics and everything all at once. You will be a one-person army, basically. And yes, everything. So in my initial days, even I had to go through it all. I did not have an intern working for me. I did not have anyone working for me. So I built my team from scratch, one by one, step by step. Yeah. And that is how now you'll double up, you'll triple up, you'll quadruple in time. So after 5 years of having my own brand, I basically launched one more and then one more, and now we are quadrupled 5 times big enough. So that depends on how well you're seeing the market, how well do you see the timeline you are working in, and see the trends going around you. Okay, then you need to have a fixed. So one more mistakes you make as a fresh CEO is you see the market as a basic trend. You pick a basic trend. Okay, do not pick a basic trend. Just look around. Firstly, imagine your client from scratch. Okay, like just have a vision of this person that you're going to cater. It cannot be a category. It cannot be just women's wear. It cannot be just ethnic wears, western wears. No, have a vision. Know that this person goes to a college, say, like, describe yourself, okay? Like, you go to a college, you're a Gen Z, and you have this lifestyle where you, after your college, you hang out with friends, you maybe go to sports, maybe are a party lover or anything at all, right? And once you have a picture ready, know what this person would like to wear, okay? So if it's a party person, they would want to wear something blingy. They would want to buy so much of outfits. They would just want so many outfits. You'll have to keep the price line low, right? So this is how you picture your client, and that is how you have to cater to them. Then you have this one niche, okay? Now that you have a niche, you will take it step by step, have a digital presence according to this now, okay? Have a digital presence when it comes to your category, decided category, then you start your whole planning, then you start your digital presence, and then magic will happen, guys. Because I know in the start, nobody would listen to your voice, but slowly and steadily, you will have a hold of it if you have a strong vision, if you have that thing, a thing that clicked, right? So that is how you will have that digital idea coming into you naturally, okay? You won't even have to be lost. You won't even have to think much, right? This is how it happened even for me. So yeah, we did make a lot of mistakes. We did a lot of trials. We did a lot of failing happened initially. We did a lot of failures. We had collections that didn't go well. And don't be afraid to go out there, okay? Just do not think कि ये मैंने अगर डाल दिया तो पता नहीं लोग क्या सोचेंगे. मतलब just remove that from your head firstly, yeah, and then the magic will happen for you. You will have ideas coming into you. You will have things happening positively for you. Yes, fashion can have an effect on you some days that you might, the biggest of brands, in fact, I would say, have had lashbacks. If you look around you, if you just read about a brand, okay, just start reading about any brand, open any brand's history, the CEO, everything, how did it happen, yeah, and you will get to know that they failed so many times. They might have even opened a very different business and they came into a very different business, yeah. So this is how you have to think. You cannot be afraid of failures. Since yeah, Gen Zs, we are fresh. We just want to go out there and then just have the result back instantly. Yeah, do not be very patient. Fashion is patience. It is going to take a lot of patience, and you'll have to have trials, errors. You might go to wrong vendors for what it matters. You'll have to sit with them. You'll have to have like days when you might even get misled by people in this industry. So go have I would suggest, if you could, when you start, go and have an India-wide tour. Yeah, go to the major hubs, go to Surat, go to Ahmedabad, go to all the major fabric hubs, and go and check things for yourself. Yes, as a starter, you might not be entertained in a lot of places. Have your cards ready, have your GST registered. You know you're going to be in this business. Have these things with you so you come out as professionals. We do not want to look like students out there. Yeah. So when we do all of this, we come out as professionals, and that helps us in getting better vendors, reaching to better vendors. This happens over time. This is not a one-time trip. It's going to happen over time. So whenever you're starting, start from this step, and then you take it forward to your design. Now the next step will be finding a team, having a tailor, having a space for you. Yeah. If you do have a space, lucky for you. Okay. Some people start from home. Some people do not even have their own team. They outsource. There is an option where you can outsource as well. Yeah. So when you outsource, yes, that is when you have to give them a sample to be made. They give it back to you. Then you publicize it. You do shoots with it. You create it by creating a collection out of it. And then maybe you can even go to exhibitions, display your piece, see how the people are responding around it. Yeah. The pieces, the collection should also have a story to tell. You cannot just vaguely create ki acha lag raha hai, Pinterest se nikala hai, now create it. That is not going to work. It is the first point that I told you guys, that you need to have an image of what your ideal customer would look like? What would their daily life be like? Like my first brand was where I started luxury clothing. Yeah, that's where we have a store. For that we have a store presence as well. We started small, not with a store. We of course started with having our own backend team, then displaying our collection at designer places like Pernias and Aza and all of that, and having ourselves ribbed because financially you cannot survive if you're doing this. But yes, it is needed for you to be recognized from the big industry. Yeah. Once you have a big scale of clients, that's when you start a store. Then you have website comes first, store comes later, and all of that. So now when you decide a brand, you also decide, is it going to be fast fashion? Is it going to be slow fashion? Slow fashion will be luxury. Slow fashion will take a lot of patience. Slow fashion will require you to procure the best of quality of things. Yeah. And then to finalize, now where is the best place for me to showcase this collection? Yeah. Yes, a slow fashion brand works well as a store because of course the client will come in and they'll feel the fabric. They like to look how they are going to carry it once they buy from you. Yeah, because they're spending in thousands, they're spending in lakhs as well. So they'll of course want you to have a physical presence, which is a plus, but it's not an important thing. It's not. Now that we have digitally excelled so much, it's not really important that you have a store. Yes, there are people who start with backgrounds with very less funding, and you grow slowly and you grow steadily. That is the best pace, in fact, I would say. Fast growth is never going to, it's going to be a lashback later on. Yeah. So yes, once you decide if it is going to be a luxury brand and you decide on buying everything according to that, now comes a space where you will find yourself with a lot of inventory. Yeah. Yes, there's a tip I could give you guys, because I don't know if you have been to any designer stores around you, or maybe say suppose it's Manish Malhotra, it's Sabyasachi, any good industry name. If you enter to their stores, they do not have ready inventory. Okay, they just have samples. You create your samples, you display them at your store or an exhibition anywhere. You take orders according to that and you cater to the client. So that's how your luxury segment can work out really well. Because if you try to create a lot of pieces and then keep them with you, you will have a lot of, like ma'am was suggesting, if you guys were listening to that point where she said that you will have a timeline to these pieces. Everything comes with a timeline. Nothing is timeless. Even with Sabyasachi, nothing is going to be timeless. A bride will come in. She might have a friend. She might have a sister come in the next month. She'll be saying, something new. I would want something new. I have seen these pieces. I need something new. So with this pace that every trend is changing so fast, you'll need to have like a good business plan as well. Us as designers, designing is not enough. Guys, we need to have a good business mindset, a good business plan as well. So this is how you manage your business plans. While working with fast fashion, yes, a lot of Gen Zs are into fast fashion these days. You will want so mmany new outfits. Ye occasion aa raha hai, I'll want to wear something new, because Instagram is real. Instagram is happening everywhere. You post the picture in one outfit, next day you would not want that same outfit to be worn in any event, anywhere. You would want something new. Yeah, that is where fast fashion comes in, because it's budget friendly. It's easy to you can any day shop online quickly, Myntra Pilya, and the next 2 days it is there also. So this is where majorly Gen Zs are coming in. So yeah, then you decide if you want to go towards that fashion. Yes, it is not sustainable. If you see environmentally, you will be not as cautious. You can try, but still we do have polyester fabrics, we do have packaging material, we do have so many things that at a daily basis come out as a waste, and you need to decide very sustainably if that is the kind of waste that you can reuse yourself. As with our brands, we do have fast fast fashion brand as well. We launched one recently that is an ethnic wear brand where we are creating low cost, reasonable outfits as well. And at that brand, yes, we do have a lot of wastage, so much of wastage every single day because we are into manufacturing. We do have a unit and then there's a whole lot of waste that comes out of it. But we decided to create cute accessories out of it. So that's how we manage our waste, right? Even if you plan on working in a fast fashion industry, which is the need of now, it's not very ethical, but you can make it ethical. How much you can, right? So this is how you can have creative ideas of creating maybe a bag out of the waste, maybe a hairband out of a waste, anything, and gift it with the order that you're giving, right? That will keep the client happy, build a relationship with your client, how you would build a relationship with your friends. Okay, do not treat a client like a client, just straight up client behavior. No, do not do that. Treat them as friends. Treat them as if you would want a long-term relationship with you. Even if your product is average, and if you have good client come back, that is a win for you. Okay, it's not necessary that everyone every time is looking for something very exclusive, right? We want everyday outfits. We want everyday college wears. We want everyday friend hangout outfits, party outfits. That is where your relations come back to you. If the person is happy with you, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so if the person is really impressed by your behavior, by your support team, then they will want to come back to you. Your policies matter as well at this point of time, because digitally, when people are judging your brand, when people are seeing your brand, they are scrolling through your website, they're scrolling through your Instagram, right? And that's when they see something they like, but then when they visit your policies, they check your policies, they might find you not real as well. We get it all the time. We get so many DMs where people do not even trust us, even though they will see so many posts, so much of clientele, so much of influencers working under us. That is also one of the reasons why you should have a strong website. So when you finalize your brand, you're done with everything, now your products are running, now your collection is there, you have clients, everything is there. That is when you start building your website. Yes, you did start with an Instagram account, but now you need a real presence. You need to have a strong professional presence. Once your website goes live, that is when you have policies, different policies that you will want to build your brand with. Now that is your role in it. Yeah, that is not a written script कि ऐसा ही होना चाहिए या फिर ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Like, it's up to you. How well do you think your brand will perform if you keep this as a policy, if you keep that as a policy? Yes, the reality of digital world is that COD is very happily accepted by customers, but very unhappily accepted by the brands these days. Why? Because I'll tell you, we see clients who do not even remembering order the piece. Yeah, you will be sleep shopping. There are cases where it's sleep shopping is real. You're sleeping, you're scrolling, you see something, you buy it, you forget about it. Yeah. So that is where COD is not helpful for your brand as a brand owner. That is very helpful for a customer because they can any day reject it. Build policies around it. Build a prepayment policy around it. Have concepts. There are brands like I'll tell you. There's a online brand named Diamond Lady. She's big in this industry, but she's not providing COD. So you can always build a brand without the help of COD as well. Yeah. Now, when you come to digital publicity, marketing, you have a lot of ways in doing that. There is social media marketing through influencers. There is ads where Facebook ads will be run on your pages and you will earn through it. So once the product is doing well, your website goes live, next step is how do you market it? How do you exactly go out in the world? Yes, your Instagram might be well. Yes, you might be getting clients through it, but that's a shorter picture. Going into the bigger picture requires you to have Facebook ads, manager, a marketing agency working for you, or maybe you learn another skill and get it done yourself. Okay. Now, since this will be too much for you, after a point of time, there will be days when you might feel that everything I cannot do now. That's when you should know that, yes, now I've grown too much. And after that, you start building teams. Okay. You start having a staff for separate purposes. Yeah. You'll have a purpose of marketing team. You'll have a purpose where a team is required for designing. Then you'll have a back end where there will be somebody who's going to manage your karigars, manage your tailors. All of that will come later on. Once you start getting bigger, you will not be the only person working, but you will still be managing all of these people. So work never stops. Once you get into a business, you have to 24/7 on the clock be over there. Yeah. So, well, now that social media has become so important to us, and most of the Gen Zs, most of you guys would be on social media, I would like to say that what do you think yourself? Look around you, look inside you as well. That when you do have a social media, how serious are you when it comes to content creation? Yeah, there will be people who can do it for you, but somehow it is going to be your call to get things made according to you. Yeah, everything basically circles back to the social media. You start, you do everything, you are there, you're out there, everything is happening, but you come back to social media and you come back to yourself. So having a brand, then managing it for years, takes persistence, takes consistency, takes learning skill every day. I would say every day. Really, it is every day. Because I hope that once you leave this college, once under the guidance of best of teachers you are here, right now everything feels in control. Once you're out in the real world, you'll want to have more skills developed for you. Yeah, only learning fashion is not the only skill required to run a whole fashion brand. So yes, keep learning, keep having more skills, take more classes. Once you're free from your college, have something to do of your own, and that's how you build skill from now. And it is very important that you do it now. It is very important so that you have time for your brands later on. Yeah. And I hope you guys get what you want, your wishes might come true. And yes, most of you might want to get into creating a brand, as it is not even something that is the only option you have. You should know, like how the PPT said, ma'am told you that there are so many other things, journalism, styling, and whatnot in fashion today. So yes, be very cautious where you start. Wherever you intern, have your mind set to one thing. Okay, try out different things initially, and then set your standards to this one thing where you want to go, and then work on it. And I'm sure you guys will see the results. So I'm hoping best for your futures, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Iram. Thank you so much. And I think this was very insightful for especially the young minds who really want to get into social media presence as well. And as you learned from both of our experts that it's not easy to get into this industry. You really need to have patience and you have to put in your efforts at the same time.